onion රසට මංචිකොමේ onion.
I think it's done extremely well, and you can see the foundations on which Charith Asalanka can become, again, that caliber of cricketer that will have a long career, score a lot of runs and win a lot of games for Sri Lanka. I think his ability to deal with both good spin and good pace, he seems to have a fearlessness, which is good to see, because I think, when the side was in transition and, there were various things that needed to be set in place, one of the things that will come into any player's mind is a little bit of fear to fail because he might feel that it dropped, fear to take a risk, fear to make changes, and fear to take on the game and try and, reverse pressure on the opposition. But Charith seems to have come to terms with all of that, and he looks, he's got poise, he's got the game, and now from there it's about getting his mental skills together, his game organization, and adjusting from surface to surface, country to country, opposition to opposition. But there's a huge amount there already visible to say that he'll be an excellent player. I think overall it's been such an encouraging performance. Going in to this tournament, everyone knew it was going to be a daunting task. There were questions in everyone's mind, and rightly so, as to will this be the right team? Is this are these players capable of competing on the international level in such high pressure tournaments? And what it is that Sri Lanka as a team, with the history and the traditions we've had in top class cricket, really show off themselves in a T20 World Cup. And it's been such a heartening sight to see the way this team has gone about it. They've played very good cricket. They've looked fearless. They've looked organized in most phases of the game. And unfortunately, T20 is such a volatile format that, and over here, a few deliveries there, a run out here can really cost you a game, because there's very little time for you to come back into a game when those mistakes occur. In terms of decision making, selectors or anyone else that decides on teams, they're all based on the best possible information, data, analytics, and of course, experience in cricket, expertise in cricket, and sometimes intuition. And picking talent is essential for that development, but then you have to stay the course with them and have the capabilities within both the cricketing structure and the expertise of the personnel to develop that kind of talent into really refined ability. And that journey is just starting. And all of you would have seen, like we spoke about Charith Asalanka, but if you take the whole unit, Wanindu Hasaranga today is the #1 T20 bowler in the world at such a young age. And you see that you have the beginnings of a side, if continuously and consistently developed, have the makings of a side that will be a significant force, especially in white ball cricket. Unfortunately, against South Africa, you had that one over against Miller. There were possible two plans. One is to go fifth leg stump, ball at the heel, or go wider outside the off stump to Miller so that you're away from his arc. Unfortunately, they tried to execute the plan, and it happens sometimes. The execution just doesn't work. And that was a game that was really within our grasp to win. But that's how T20 cricket goes. In the old days, Rex, you would remember when the run rate went up to 6, that was it. The game was done. When I first started playing, 50 over cricket, never let the run rate go over 6. Now, whether it's 10 runs and over, 12 runs and over, 15 to get in 1 over, 16 to get, people don't really, it doesn't faze them, because they know they have the power to be able to win from those situations. And then again, against England, about 38, I think, runs to win off about 21, 22 balls. England was a side that looked in absolute control against every side that they played except for us. I think England were completely under pressure and in a very desperate situation. But unfortunately, Sri Lanka couldn't get across the finish line. But just in those games, you see that we are capable of getting into situations where we can win games from against the best opposition. And now, in terms of executing tactics and strategy, formulating tactics and strategy, those are the areas that the team, the captain, the coaching staff, everyone will probably concentrate more and more, while at the same time keeping an eye on skill. So there are a lot of areas that they can develop in. But I'm really very impressed with this side. It's T20 cricket. All you need is one really good phase of play, or one really bad one from any side, where matches can be won or lost. So, Pakistan, all credit to them. They've looked such a good side, really good bowling attack, really deep batting lineup. They have power. They have a lot of skill, and we saw that. England looks the most complete side. I think they're very balanced. Morgan seems to be leading them amazingly well, as he has done over the past 4 or 5 years. And their team looks, up for the challenge, and everyone seems to be, hungry to get out there and win a T20 World Cup. New Zealand, they're very workmanlike in the way they go about their work. Not a lot of noise or fanfare, but they somehow managed to get the work done. Again, a very, very clinical side. They plan really well, and they've got the skill to execute all those plans really well. And we saw India, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli batting together. They stopped the pace. They brought Sodhi. They brought the left-arm spin of Santner, and they really concentrate on these matchups of bowling the right bowler against the right batter with the right field, and vice versa. Even the minnows, as you can call it, but in T20 cricket you can't call anyone a minnow. Scotland, the way they performed, such a lot of heartening performances. But again, the powerhouse sides seem to be, out in front. West Indies, strangely, never really, got off the ground as such. But I'm not sure you can call anyone a favorite. But England looks the most threatening. Pakistan, equally there. But once you get to the semi-final, pressure will rise, because you have to be on top of your game when you get there to get into a final and go and win it. Well, I'm very reluctant to pinpoint areas like that, Rex, because when you're watching a game from the outside, you have the benefit of having a wider perspective. When you're in the game, and when you're young, and when you don't have the same experience, sometimes things can get a little not confusing, but it can get a little intense. I think Dasun has handled himself really impressively with this young side. There would have been a lot of pressure on him. In terms of South Africa, I think the team had the plans right. It unfortunately couldn't execute in that last over. And Sri Lanka, until that last ball, the second six was hit, would have still backed themselves to have gone on and won. And perhaps in the England game, not bowling, himself in the 19th over, getting your half bowler or the extra bowler done and dusted by about the 14th over or the 15th over at the latest. Those are little things that you can try and do. But overall, I think the tactical readiness has been good, but that's an area I think, and I think Mahela Jayawardene being there had a huge impact on getting those tactics and strategy refined, fine-tuned, and game ready. Adding to the experience of the coaching staff. We have Chaminda Vas as the bowling coach there. Mickey Arthur as head coach, and Grant Flower there with the batting. So Mahela would have been an immense wealth of knowledge in terms of working with the analytics team, working with the players individually, and getting those plans all set. And then it's about execution. So unfortunately, they were found wanting in those two areas. But other than that, Rex, they played a great brand of cricket, and I think that we can all be proud of.
There's a thing from your country that I'm totally hooked on, and I am not talking about your tea.
Lanka tiles, designed for you, desired by the world.
Yeah, they've all, everyone's looked good in at various stages. What I love to see is the confidence that they have. Vanidu Hasaranga, when he bowls or bats, they take the bowling on from ball one. They play very good situational cricket at most times, and the more experience they get, the more exposure they get, more time out in the middle, more time for sitting down and running through data analytics, match plans, tactics, strategy, all of this. They will just become better and better and better. The captain will become better and better and better. Decision-making capabilities will become better. And when that matches up to this, this explosive, exciting talent that the team has, that's when you receive really mature, seasoned decisions being made and cricket being played. So again, like I said before, Rex, exciting to have these young players, exciting to see their brand of cricket, and exciting to see their confidence. I don't think I can answer that question fully as yet, Rex. There is an evaluation, a lot of feedback to be sorted through, and that will be directed to us at some point from SLC for us to discuss, and then perhaps make our own suggestions. But at this time, unfortunately, I can't give you a very definitive answer. But you're looking at a World Cup, you're looking at a young side, you're looking at a few volatile years as well, and I think everyone's partnered in a journey as best as they can, and beyond that, I just don't have enough in front of me to be able to give you a clear answer on that. I think the change of culture, Rex, has to come from a lot from within the team as well, from the players themselves. I think the players have to take some time, really think about what they're doing and how they're doing it, and really get together as a leadership group. And if you want to set a culture, the players have to buy into it. The coach, whoever else can come and demand things of the team, but if the team doesn't buy into it, it's very difficult to change the status quo. And I know sometimes it looks from the outset that maybe there isn't the same passion, whatever. I'm very kind of reluctant to say that, because I've been in sides where we've had terrible losses, a few bad tournaments, but I know that every player has a burning passion to play the game. They might play it for various reasons, and various things might motivate them. But the key is to use those motivations to give of your best for your team and for the country when you go out into the field. And I think everyone really wants to do that, and always wanted to do that. But sometimes, if you have if you have a culture where you have to look over your shoulder, not sure whether you get into the next team, what's going to happen to me if I don't score these runs. If that continuous doubt is there in your mind, it's very difficult to break out of that, especially when you have a team with a lot of youngsters. So this new culture is just giving them more certainty, more consistency, more confidence, and telling them, we value you as players, as individuals. This is what we want to set in terms of the brand of cricket we want to play. This is the kind of excellence we want to have in a decision-making process, in a planning process, in the way we play. And the players seem to have really bought into that and are really trying to set that culture again, where you see on the field this kind of positive energy, always trying to fight, always trying to win. And it's that impact of the overall culture. So every player has a role to play in that. in terms of setting that in stone and taking it forward and improving it. But perhaps a little bit of common sense would be good. Three extremely talented players, and what a loss it has been for Sri Lanka cricket in terms of not having their services available for selection. But at the same time, SLC had sent a message very clearly, and the team had as well, that commitment to the team's discipline, the expectations of the cricketers is important, and it's a non-negotiable. And as such, they were handed significant bans and fines. And I just hope that they learn from this and they come back stronger. And I'm sure everyone will welcome them back, and also hope that they will start thinking not just on the field a bit better, but off the field as well. Yeah, my tenure finished 1st of October. Claire Connor graciously accepted my invitation to follow me as president. She'll be phenomenal in her role. She's an exceptional individual and has done wonders for making cricket a game for everyone, not just in England but all over the world. She's been a star as a player and also as an administrator, and it's been a really wonderful time. I've had so much support from everyone at MCC, the committees, the membership, and it'll always be a place that I will always go back to and really enjoy spending time in. Yeah, it was disappointing to see that tours aren't going ahead. I'm not sure. I'm not party to or privy to what the exact reasons were, or whether there were security concerns and what they were. It's also been a very unusual year, Rex, in terms of COVID, in terms of bubbles, in terms of stressors on the players mentally, time away from family. So all of these things will have a contributing factor. But taking cricket back to Pakistan is such an important thing. You see how well they play and what a glorious side they are. And a lot of them haven't played any, cricket in front of their own, in their home grounds or in front of their home fans in their own country. So I think cricket will go back sooner than later, and everyone, whether it's the Pakistan Cricket Board or the international boards or the ICC, must commit to that journey with everything that is required, of course, security, all of that in place. And I hope to see cricket back in Pakistan soon. Yeah, we have quite a few plans that we've communicated and things that we're discussing to set in motion to try and support the journey of the Sri Lankan main national side. Then you have your development and A teams, and of course your under 19 sides as well. And every step of every side and every age group in that journey is important. So is the first class structure in terms of competitiveness. And I think the technical committee from time to time will meet the press and really communicate as openly and clearly as possible what those plans are. We suggest what we think are the best steps and the best way forward with our expertise to Sri Lanka cricket, and then they have that decision-making capability beyond that. But we are doing our best, and there are quite a few things that I'm sure the technical committee will meet the press and explain, so you can get a much more detailed view on it. But without the full committee here, I think it would be wrong of me to commit or to give you any more detail than that until we have everything ready to put in front of you. I think we're all working as hard as we can to support the team and Sri Lanka cricket. We're contributing ideas, our time. We're spending time with players, talking to support staff. Our job is to support and to be available in any capacity that the side requires if they need our expertise. Our job is not to go and be overbearing or have kind of interfere or anything of the sort. Whether it's Mahela, whether it's me, anyone else, a former cricketer, someone in the technical, whoever, our job is to support and be ready that if the side needs us, what do they need, and for us to provide that expertise. I think we have a huge amount of coaching talent, Sri Lankan coaching talent available, Sri Lankan experience available. We have some wonderful foreign coaches who've come over the years as well and who've shared their ideas. And I think we're in a really good place now to continue a more focused journey, and understanding that that cricket as a game in Sri Lanka is still so popular. We have a lot of passion for it as players and fans, and there are certain requisite changes to be made, and there's a receptiveness to those changes now. But the key thing is to if those changes are the right ones and they're good and there is a purpose and you see the results of it, it's not going to take just 1 year. It has to be a long-term process, and they have to be set in stone. So it can't change with the times or with the like or dislike of anyone in a decision-making capacity. The only way it can change is for it to get better, and not for any other reason. And they have to be for cricketing reasons. So it's something important that we have to set in place.
අපේ කොල්ලන්ට ලංකාවේ අපේ ජාතික පැතුම් එක් කරන ඩයලොග්.
මිනිත්තුවෙන් මිනිත්තුව වෙනස් වන ක්‍රීඩාලෝකයේ උණුසුම එසනින් ඔබ වෙතට ThePapare Sports News Alerts. පරක් වෙලා පරාද වෙන්න එපා. අදම රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්න. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් කියලා ටයිප් කරලා 678ට එවන්න. මාසෙටම රුපියල් 30යි. කුන්දේසි සහිතයි.